Hello, beloveds, and welcome back to today's 5 Minutes of Faith here at Women Warriors of the Word. Do you know and realize that sometimes we will never get a second chance? I know that sounds harsh, but the truth of the matter is we may not get a second chance to walk by faith. We may never get a second chance to do the right thing at that moment with that person. It is absolutely true that God can use us again, that God can send someone else, that God's plans are never destroyed by us. But it is also true that we can delay God's plan. Because of our lack of faith, we may delay God's plan. You know, when God and the Holy Spirit, who are the same, God is in heaven, Holy Spirit is here with us on earth, and we have that dual relationship because of Jesus. But Holy Spirit may nudge you to do something, to say something, to not say something, to not do something. And when we choose to do it or not do it anyway, there is a ripple effect in both the physical and the spiritual realm. God does not speak to us for no reason. God doesn't ask us to do something ahead of time. God doesn't tell us not to do something just because there's no reason and he feels like it. He's not an earthly parent having a bad day. He is God. And at times he is going to ask you to do something that is going to make you uncomfortable. You are not going to want to speak to that person. You are not going to want to share that troubled situation you made it through. You're not going to want to stand up to your student's teacher and say, enough is enough. You're not going to want to do it. But when God asks us to do something, it's not about what we want. It's about our level of faith. It's about whether or not in our relationship with God, we are willing to put ourselves aside and say, not my will, but your will be done, Father. Change my heart, God, and then we go do it. Or when God says, do not go do something, and we do it anyway. There is a ripple effect in the physical and the spiritual that goes through and usually provides consequences for other people. Don't be that believer. Don't be that person. When God says no, ask him to change your heart so your comfort is in his no. And trust that he has a very good reason. Just the same, when God says yes, do it. Don't be the child of God that constantly requires God to go send someone else. He's asking you to talk to the homeless person, to minister to your transgendered neighbor, to gift that little boy new shoes. Whatever it is, to have the real conversation about who he is with your family and your children. He's asking you to stop that behavior. Stop using those words. Stop putting word curses over yourself and your family, because he knows what Satan does and twists and uses those for. There is a reason, and whether or not we obey is a direct reflection of where our heart is in our relationship with him. What kind of relationship do you have with God? What kind of commitment does God have from you? Or is your relationship with God based on your emotions and how he wants you to be makes you feel? And I wonder how your heart and your thoughts towards his will make him feel. This is a kind of a harsh topic and a harsh comment, but it's something that we need to realize. Our yeses and our nos to God create waves and ripples and affect far more than just our moment in time. You may be the light, you may be the seed, you may be the waterer, you may be the one that shifts somebody's reality forever, either because you acted or you didn't act. You're either going to affect it in a way that moves the kingdom forward, or you're going to affect it in a way that pauses God's will. Do you realize the impact of your answers when God calls you? And if you didn't before this video, you do now. So next time God nudges you on the shoulder and tells you to speak or act, say yes and do it. The next time God nudges you on the shoulder and says, don't do that, don't say that, don't. And between now and then, seek Him in prayer and prepare for your next encounter with what God is asking you to do. Continue to choose and walk in faith. Bye for now.